I have a very strong belief that everything that comes into your life is supposed to, and every condition of your life is part of the perfection of it, and that there's a blessing in all of it, and that there are no accidents, that it's a perfect, absolutely, totally perfect universe. Everybody that you meet for a reason. Everybody you're sitting next to, you're there for a reason. You can either take advantage of it or not. You have choices to make throughout it all. At the same moment, there's an opportunity in it, and I never look back with anything but gratitude for all that was handed to me, because I learned firsthand as a very young boy how to be self-reliant, how to take responsibility for myself, how not to blame other people for it, and to find something positive in it, and always did. So that little old lady who's driving in front of you at 20 miles an hour with the 1976 Cadillac, cream-colored, you all see her. She's everywhere. She's got blue hair, and she can hardly see over the steering wheel. And she's signed an oath that she will drive aimlessly around, testing your ability to deal effectively with her. She's like a test. She's like a gift from God to test. And it's like once you stop being mad at her for being who she is and what she's about, when you stop the anger and the bitterness at who she is and understand that she's exactly where she's supposed to be. And she's there to teach you a very important lesson. Slow down. You have to. Relax. Don't give her control over the divine part of you. The intelligence in back of that is suffusing your form, invisible as it is. It's still there, and it's yours. It's really what constitutes your entire humanity. Don't give it away. Think of yourself as connected to and a part of it all, rather than someone who is being victimized or slowed down or abused by, or here it happens again. It's all part of the perfection of it all. That's a very nice, enlightening place to get to. It really slows you down. And it doesn't take away your ability to make choices. It takes away your wanting the world to be as you think it should be instead of as it is. That's what defines neurotic. That's what neurotic really means. To be wanting the world to be as you are rather than as it is. And for you to process it exactly the way it is.
And if you see everybody as a teacher, then you ask yourself, what do I have to learn here? And it's like in that second that you're just about to be angry and go around and maybe even have a head-on collision or whatever, or maybe nothing, but still in a hurry, maybe at that moment that person is there. That person is there to teach you to slow down a little bit. They used to say to scientists, are you a scientist? And the scientist would say yes. And they'd say, well, do you believe in spirituality? Do you believe in God? And they'd say, no, I'm a scientist. Now, today, in the 1990s, you ask a scientist, do you believe in God? And they say, of course, I'm a scientist. Science is beginning to prove what metaphysics has been saying for centuries. That when you study life at the tiniest subatomic level, the tiniest level, that all of the particles seem to be on purpose and they're all interconnected in some mysterious way, and they're all sort of controlled by some force outside, some mystical thing, and they're all on purpose, and there's nothing random about any of it. That's all the new literature is coming out. There's nothing random, nothing happenstance in the universe. I find that so intriguing. If every subatomic particle is on purpose, and we're made out of those, then why not us? And when I see all of those people coming out of like when I was on Wall Street one day in New York, and I don't know if you've ever been there, at 5 o'clock you go to Wall Street and you watch thousands, millions of people. They're coming from underneath the ground, and they look like all these ants, like an anthill. There's just millions of people coming out from underneath the ground on all of these little openings on all the streets and the subways, and they're all going someplace, or they're all going down into the ground, at 5 o'clock. And I look at them now, and I think they're all on purpose. They're all like those subatomic particles. They appear random to us because we're so limited in our vision. We tend to view everything from the limited perspective of our form. When you know that they're all on purpose, it stops you. You see that little old lady driving slow, you say, well, she's doing just exactly what she's supposed to be doing. She's right where she belongs. And you stop judging it and analyzing it.
When you have lunch tomorrow, have a salad. And when you have your salad, take that piece of lettuce and put it in your mouth and chew it up. And as you chew it up, notice that something happens in your mouth. Something called salivation. Saliva enters your mouth. Do you get up in the morning and say to yourself, oh, God, here we go again. I have to salivate again today. I'm so tired of this. Why me? Why every day? Salivate, salivate, salivate. It's all, if I could just have... You don't do that, do you? Salivation, not salvation, salivation is a principle that you are born into. And it works independent of your opinion about it. It doesn't care. When you start chewing up the lettuce, you have to swallow the lettuce, don't you? You don't say to yourself, I got to get the lettuce from here down to here. Does it ever go up? Do you ever go, and it's up here someplace? Never. There's a principle within you, this you that you are here, called peristalsis, which makes the muscles go down. There's a muscle movement that makes it go down rather than up. First I got to salivate, now I got to peristalse. Ugh, this is so depressing. You don't do that. Peristalsis is a principle that the I that is we, called you, is born into. And then you have to distribute that lettuce, mulch, throughout your entire system. You got to get some of it to your liver, and some of it's got to go to your armpit, some of it's got to go to your heart, some of it's got to go to your eye. You don't concern yourself with whether it's going to all go to the right, but miraculously, perfectly, somehow, the lettuce gets converted to the right nutrients all over your body. A principle, cardiovascular pulmonation. How many are sitting there right now beating their hearts? You got to do it 14,000 times every day. Are you doing that? Do you worry about that? Do you concern yourself? No. Your heartbeat is a principle that you were born into. If you can accept that and know that there are principles operating within you that allow you to function perfectly because you've surrendered to them, you don't think about them, is it so difficult to grasp that there are also principles in this larger body called humanity, of which you are a part as well? Because at the same moment that you are a single heartbeat in the body called humanity, you are also one beating heart. The earliest stage of enlightenment is called enlightenment through hindsight. You know, like when you're in a relationship and you're breaking up, is there anybody here who hasn't broken up once and struggled and cried and been in pain and, oh, I can't stop thinking about it. I don't know what I'm going to do. And it's this endless pain. And your mind is on suffering, suffering, suffering. And what expands? Suffering, suffering. It just keeps expanding and expanding. You can't get your mind off of that person and where I'd like it to be. And finally, 3, 4, 5, 6 years go by, and you finally passed it in one way or another, and then you look back on it and you see why you had to go through it. So the lowest stage of enlightenment is that stage where you look back on your life and you say, now I know why I had to be an alcoholic for those years. And now I know why I had to be in that relationship with my ex-wife. And now I know why I had to go through the bankruptcy. Or now I know why I had to create that cancer or that heart attack, or whatever it was that taught me how to transcend that self-defeating behavior that I used to think I couldn't do anything about. You see? The second stage of enlightenment is when things like this are happening to you, you know there's a blessing in it. There's an opportunity in it while it's happening. You're smoking, and you know that there's something in this for me. You're going through a relationship difficulty, or you're having an accident, or you've gone through a series of illnesses, whatever it may be that seems to be a struggle for you in your life. While it's happening, you're looking constantly for what's in it for me? What can I get out of this? There's no mistakes out there. It's all being created for some reason. So that's the second stage. And that minimizes the suffering. Because you're looking for what's in it for you. How can I get something out of that? So that the person cutting you off, the way your children talk, whatever, you're not instantly threatened by that. You're constantly aware that these people are behaving that way, there's something in this for me to learn. And I think I'll get it now. I think I'll get it now, instead of waiting 6 years suffering through it and then seeing it. But there's a higher stage. It's the highest stage. In Zen they call it, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. It's the same. The only difference is that you're doing it from a totally new perspective of thought. And this dimension, the highest stage, what enlightenment really is, it's when you're back home again. Instead of pulling away from yourself, you're towards yourself. And this is what it is. You are able to get out in front of it. Play it out in the dimension of thought. And decide for yourself whether it's even necessary to bring it into form.
You're in a relationship. My wife will say something to me. And I know that if I respond in a certain way, if I say this, then she's going to say that. And it's like, then she's going to say that, then I'm going to say that, and I can play that all out in thought. I'm out in front of this already, okay? This was at one time a guaranteed, absolute blowout. Anger over nothing, fear perhaps of intimacy, who knows, whatever. But it was guaranteed to be angry and PO'd for 2 or 3 days. Her and me. Maybe no talking, maybe storming out, maybe any number of things that people do over silly things to avoid being intimate, usually. So I play that all out. And I don't have to go there. I don't have to do that any longer. I don't have to make her wrong, which is a great step. I don't have to make me right, an even higher step. There's no right or wrong in it. And I play the whole thing out. And as I play the whole thing out, I decide I don't have to bring this into form. I got out in front of it. It's gone. It's all been played out in my mind. You use your mind to not bring into form, into your life, into action, that which you know is going to take you down a place that's backward. I amusingly tell people that this is a wonderful stage to get to because you can still, once you're both there, you can still get your point across. I was in the shower and I was thinking about this. I was in the shower. It's one of those showers that has a handle that you turn a certain way. Now, my wife is about a foot shorter than I am, so she turns the handle a certain way and the water will go on her the way she likes it. And then she leaves the shower. Then I go in the shower and I turn the shower on, and my kneecaps are getting a shower, okay? So now I have to reach up and I have to adjust the whole thing. So it's like a little game. I'm thinking to myself, I'm playing it all out in form. I'm thinking, now if I say something to her about this, then she's going to say, what right do you have to say? And then I'm going to say back to her, and then she's going to... And this could end up being a stupid fight, an angry evening or whatever, over the position of a shower head. So I don't do that. I play it all out in form, I move the shower, and I have my shower. Then I go tell my wife. But I don't tell her about how she put the shower. I tell her, I am so advanced. I am so enlightened. This is so great. Getting on this path is so great. And the fact that you're on it too. Like, we don't even have to ever fight anymore about these dumb things. She said, what are you talking about? I said, well, I thought that you leaving the shower head in the position that you normally leave it really sort of interferes with, and then I thought, well, if I tell you that, then you're going to have to come back and say what you do, and then I'm going to have to go back and tell you, and then then we're going to have this stupid fight, and then we're not going to be happy, and I'm holding her all this time, and I'm even kissing her while I'm telling her this. I said, but isn't it great that I don't have to go there anymore, and I can play it all out in thought, and it's all done? And she said, didn't you just tell me about where the shower head was? I said, yeah, isn't that great that you don't have to react the way you did? Now you put the shower head where it belongs. And it's like a joke, So it's like you can talk about your enlightenment and get your point across without even having to have it be an unpleasant exchange. You go from being the actor in your life who is being directed by the events, the circumstances, and the other people in your life to being the director at the second stage. And in the third stage, you become the producer of your life.